Oh, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I have been switching a little focus back to our old shop truck, our SS454. It's been a while since you guys have seen it. However, I've been driving the hell out of the thing and having a lot of fun. Still working on a couple issues here. We've been working with QA1, trying to get our suspension dialed in. Right now, it's kind of sitting a little too low. I am running into some issues with it bottoming out in the rear end on the suspension, hitting on my bump stops. And in the front, as you guys seen, we cut out a whole bunch of material out of our fenders to try to give it some clearance, and it still kind of rubs a little bit. So this episode, we're gonna be building us some new inner fenders. I mean, it looks kind of cool like this, but you know, as you guys know, without fenders, you're rolling around, this thing gets super dirty in here. So in order to kind of keep this engine compartment clean, we do need to get some fenders in there. Then, to give you guys a timeline, I was out in Vegas for SEMA. Then, a few days later, I got back on the plane, we went out to Arizona. Andrew was trailering Dimebag back. While he was gone and David was gone, I decided, hey, let me throw a little sound system into the truck. So as I was prepping the truck, pulling the seats out, and lifting up the side of the carpet, oh, what happened to the carpet? Exactly. So I pulled up this corner of the carpet and it was soaking wet. I mean, drenched, and kind of smelled like mildew. Now, mind you, the truck was sitting outside in my driveway for 2 weeks, and I did know there was a little bit of water coming through this back window. So, pulled the carpet up, started pulling out some panels to try to find the leak, and I did determine that it was just up here. I did just use a little seam sealer. Now there's no more water coming in, so I threw down some dyno, ordered a new carpet kit, and also ordered, so when I took these back panels out, I realized there was some speakers here. So these were just some AC Delco 4x6s. I went on to Crushfield and ordered some new JL audio. So we got that now coming. So now we're gonna be able to get our system in, our amp, our subs, 2 speakers up here, because right now we only have 4x6s up here. It doesn't really hit too hard, you know, it's kind of quiet. So I'm gonna get that done, get our new carpet kit in, and while I'm at it, I got all these parts over here. We got our center console components, our little kicker things, and our door sills. So I'm gonna get these prepped, and we're gonna get some new deep, which one is this? The deep burgundy. So we're gonna spray all these plastic parts, make them look clean again. Let's get that 454 back on the road. I'm hoping that we're probably gonna throw it back on the dyno because the weather's cooling off, and you know, once we get the suspension locked in, I think it's time to get this thing out on the road track, maybe autocross, something, have some fun with it. Let's get it. All right, we just got our fresh new red carpet kit in. We also got all our interior panels all cleaned up, some of them painted. And we got our new 4x6 speakers for our back pillars over in here and over yonder. We got our dyno mat down. It is time to run our wires to the back over here. We're gonna have our little sub box sitting behind the passenger seat, and I'll probably go ahead and throw the amp right behind the driver's seat back there. So we'll get all these wires ran, we'll get our carpet kit down, we'll get these speakers back in, get all these plastic interior panels back on, so we get this thing back out on the road. Let's go! All right, we just got our temporary power source for our amp here. I need to change out this terminal here on the end. I need a bigger, whatchamacallit. I need a bigger, you know, round thing. Got to put a bigger round thing on there. So we got our ground right there. Got a good ground, cleaned up the paint off that. We got power to our amp. We got our subwoofer hooked up. We got our new kicker 6x4s on there. Let's get some YouTube friendly music. Let's see here.
on my mind, could you see? So my mind on the rock. At times I feel I can't get enough, but I sip a double cup, then I spend a couple bucks.
All right, now that we got all of our wires ran, or at least into the areas where they have to be, at this point, we can pull out our amp, pull out our subwoofer again. We'll get all our plastic panels back on the back section over here. I'm just gonna clean up all this wiring, and then we go ahead and lay our carpet down. I did leave this little channel in between our sound deadener here, so I'll be able to run my wires through there and it won't be a big bump in the carpet. This is under the seat, so I'll probably leave some of my extra wires here, and then all this stuff will get loomed up and tucked back there, and then we'll just basically make a slit in the carpet right here, and that's where our wires will come out. We should be good to go. All right, now that we got our carpet trimmed up in all our areas where we need it, cut up here along the firewall, back over there where our AC lines are and our drain. I didn't trim the back yet because what I was thinking about doing is going to start gluing this section down and pulling it this way back, and then I'll make my cut back here. I'm gonna go ahead and mark out where all my holes are for our seats and our seat belt. We'll get those cut. Also laid out my door sill trim and my kicker panel just to make sure we're good to go, which we are. I'm gonna go ahead and start gluing it down from the center on this transmission hump and then pulling it out this way just to try to get it to sit as flat as possible, and that way we don't have any bubbling like that, just to get it and pull it all from the middle to the edges. Little break next to my Christmas tree. I want to show you guys, man. And if you're anything like me and you run out of Christmas decorations, you could always pick yourself up 10 or 15 Salvage hats, and boom, there you got it. Ornaments for your tree. So head on over to salvagesavage.com, pick yourself a S2S trucker hat, and right now I'm gonna throw in 2 more stickers to add to your collection. So head on over, and now I'm gonna get back to work. All right, we got our amp all wired up, tucked behind the driver's seat. We got our little baby 6s. Let me tell you, these JL6s, man, they pack a little punch, I'm not gonna lie. So, get a vacuum out, get this carpet cleaned up a little bit. And we're ready to throw in our passenger seat and our console, and that will wrap up our interior. Tell you, man, at first I was a little bummed about our wet carpet, but I'd say it well worked out in our favor. Now we got a brand new carpet. Smells like a new truck in here, man. We painted up some of our other pieces of trim. Everything is looking real fresh. Got all our interior back together, and we have an amp and a sub back here, plus our new speakers back here. So it made a huge difference. Everything looks real good, man. So now we're moving back on to the more important stuff, like the inner fenders. So a while back, David and I started planning it out, and David started making the driver's side. It's been sitting around the shop for a couple months. As you see, she's already all rusty. So this side we got it started, and then this side over here, we got Orlando here. Everyone say hi to Orlando. Hi, Orlando. Orlando's making up a template for the passenger side to kind of match that one. This side's gonna be a little more tricky because we got all these lines and hoses, and we got our Mishimoto coolant tank reservoir, and we have our dryer for our Restomod AC. So he's gonna get a little tricky on this side, and then over here, once he gets that one laid out, he's probably gonna go ahead and get a little creative. I'm gonna give him some creative freedom here to flex some fab skills.
top side cut for the passenger side of the 454 truck here. We got it cut out on the plasma table. Fits up good. Started the slip roll, and now I'm laying out the bead roll pattern. Some perforated mesh as a little access cover. Alright, here we got the inner fender wells on the 454 Chevy truck, pretty much at the same distance on each one progress wise. Got the bead rolls done. Little flange here I made with the shrinker stretcher welded up, give it a nice finished edge. Gonna do the same on this side, gonna put a little strip in here, weld it, grind it down, give it the same kind of look. And next step on each of these is to cut out our access holes for the battery and the oil catch can, and with perforated little screen, and make them removable for easy service. And then we're also going to finish it off with the middle radiator closeout panel to kind of tie it in together. We got our perforated metal closeout panel access covers made, so we just got to throw some fasteners and some nutserts on there, and those will be all done. We got our paper template here for the center closeout panel. We're going to throw in a bead roll in there to kind of match the other details, and we're also going to add some filler panels right in here to kind of match the flow a little bit better, get rid of the boxiness. Alright, here we got our flange made with the shrinker stretcher. It's fit up with these magnets, about ready to tack it up. Just gives it this nice rounded edge along the inside here. And I got one more piece to make to butt it up to this top edge of the fan shroud, and then some little curved filler pieces to help transition.
All right, time to get these inner fenders and our closeout panel all finished up. Orlando did a great job. I was pretty impressed. So we had Orlando come on in here for a couple days. He did this in basically 3 days. Now mind you, he's never been in our shop before, so everything here is new. He's also never worked with a camera. So it's a learning process, just like everything else. But as far as this fabrication went, I was pretty impressed. He definitely has some skills that we don't have, which is like the shrinking and stretching, and you know, these little bends right here on this closeout panel down here, all that shrinking and stretching with on an angled flange. So that was pretty cool. Probably could learn some good things from him. Hopefully he'll come back. Anyways, the torch is passed off to me. Everything's pretty much fit and fabricated. We got a couple little things to address. Add maybe a little bit of metal right here to bring this out to this edge. Some blending, some welding, and some hardware. So we're gonna get all this stuff bolted down. Probably gonna throw some hardware back here, maybe one on the firewall. I'm probably also gonna weld a flange, an angled flange onto our inner fender to hold the front side of this beauty panel right here and right here as well. So once we get all that done, welded, blended, put back in, all fastened down, we'll be able to bring it all back out, do some body work, do some paint. All right, we got our 3 little pieces cut, fit in there pretty nice. Probably gonna end up adding another piece here. That way I can get that radius to match the other side. But this one is good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. I'm also gonna make a couple little modifications back here. Where our hood hinge bracket is, I'm gonna radius that. I'm gonna cut this tab off back here and then also fill in this little gap. Make a little bit more clearance back here for some of these wires and stuff. But other than that, this one should be good to go. We got all of our little pieces welded in. I did a bunch of welding and blending on the passenger side. Still got a couple things to do over here on the driver's side. Like add some mounting points for our closeout panel here on the front. So I'm gonna bend up a couple angles, weld those onto our inner fender. We'll be able to through bolt this little section here and here. We also have to weld up these holes here on the actual core support. So we're gonna put a piece of hardware here and here, so that'll look nice. We have a couple clecos holding our inner fenders in, so we'll be able to drill those out, put a riv nut here on the side of the fender, throw a bolt there, and that's about it, man. She's about done. So now we got our driver's side inner fender in. Everything's been welded and blended. Next step we got is to get our closeout panel put in, and we'll start fastening it down. Before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and patch up this hole, and we'll shoot a little black paint on this front section just to make sure that nothing's gonna rust out. So we'll get that painted up, then we'll start throwing our fasteners in. Probably one in the firewall, as you see it kind of wobbles around, so we'll try to get one back there. And then up here on these little closeout panels, and then up front here, I'll probably also do the 1/4-20s. So once this is all locked in together, everything should be pretty sturdy. We'll get all that done, and then you know what time it is. Time for that paint and body. All right, well, that pretty much wraps up the fabrication side of the inner fenders and our closeout panel. Orlando did a great job. Super pleased with his work. Next step is to go ahead and pull all this stuff back out, do our paint and body. All right, well, my Bondo is drying on my inner fenders and my beauty panel. I'm gonna go ahead and start prepping our core support to paint these little spots right here. Just gonna tape off this side over here, tape this side off, and just kind of dust some gloss black on there, clean it up a little bit, protect it from rust. All right, we're ready to rock and roll on these inner fenders and our beauty panel. Everything's been prepped properly. A good full day of body work, priming, sanding, wet sanding. And so I'm gonna go with the old trusty low gloss black from Duplicolor. Stuff has never failed us, man. So let's rock and roll. Our inner fenders and our beauty panel are done, they're dried. I'm gonna go put these bad boys in. Well, that's a wrap on the 454 episode. These inner fenders came out awesome. You guys seen Orlando come out here and help us out with this stuff. I hope that he's gonna come back because I feel like he'd be a great addition to the team. He did a real nice job with the shrinking and stretching and just making all this stuff look real great. Paint came out good. The red accent matching the air filter. I'm still on the fence with it. I got some mixed opinions on it, but for now, that's gonna ride out. Came out real nice. Also, that simple little amp and subwoofer install ended up not being so simple, but all in all, interior is looking real sharp now. We got our full carpet kit installed and there was a leak. So, you know, I guess on hindsight, we made lemons out of lemonade or lemonade out of lemons. I don't know. So we fixed the leak. We got rid of all that nasty mildewy carpet, added some sound deadener. So I think that's a home run, man. We still got a couple things we're trying to sort out in the truck, like our dash. So we're gonna get to that here shortly. Some of the stuff's not working right, so we're either gonna try to get that dash working correctly or possibly throw it out and get a new one. We're also got some kind of fueling issue, or maybe it's a sniper problem. I'm not really sure. So we got a couple things we're still kind of working out with it, but the truck is driving great. Getting those QA1 coilovers dialed in. Our height is looking a lot better. We're not rubbing on turns or bumps anymore. I wish it was a little lower, but you just can't have everything. So once we get this thing running better, maybe we're gonna get it back on the dyno, because I want to get this thing out to Bowling Green, Kentucky to the Pro Truck Shootout. Yeah, Pro Truck Shootout in April. So that'd be really cool if I could get this thing out there and race with all the fellas out there. But hey, that's it, man. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.